welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and go check out our Instagram pages where I post daily original photos of our life, our animals, and everything in between. So my voice sounds a little funny. I'm a little under the weather today, so bear with me. We're gonna get through this video and we're gonna be talking about how to use the maternity rat rack. I'm going to talk about how I go about moving the females over, what I do to kind of get them prepped and set up, and all that good fun stuff. So what I do is I usually clean our rats anytime between Friday, Saturday, Sunday-ish. Kind of depends on what I have going on in the week or the weekend. And what I do is as I am cleaning, I pull males out, put them in a different tub with different females. The day that I pull males out and switch them, the females that were originally with that male, there'll be 3 females, and almost always they are pregnant. And those pregnant females tend to look like this. So if you can see, this rat is very, very plump. Has a nice plump belly. Let's go ahead and look at another one. Okay, you're all stretched out. You don't look like you're very plump. Let's try a different one. And if you can see this mama's getting ready to pop here in the next day or two. She has a very, very round belly. So when the females are looking very, very plump, even if they don't look quite plump yet, usually on the day that I clean, I will move them over to the rack. And usually within a couple days, if they're super plump, they will have babies. And then, or usually within that week. Now, if they go a week without having babies, a lot of times they're probably not going to, and then I will move them back with other females. I don't like to keep any of my rats separated from other rats in the colony for more than a week, just because they are very social animals. Their immune system can drop, and you can have a host of other issues because it causes too much stress. And then sometimes you have things that happen like this, where I open a tub and I might have missed the mama being pregnant, or maybe she didn't have a whole lot of babies. And then we get a whole lot of babies in the tubs. And a lot of times if they have babies in the tubs, I will just leave them in there because obviously they were successful in having babies in the tub with other females present. So I'll just leave them there for the time being. So the first thing I do before I move those females over is I will get new tubs ready. I put a nice generous layer of aspen bedding in them. And then I like color-coded things on the outside of my bins. It helps me stay organized. It helps tell me that there is an animal in there that I need to be caring for. And then as they give birth, I will mark down the date in which they gave birth so I can keep record. So I know which females go, which females don't. So each bin gets a piece of tape on the front. And then what I'll do is I will add all of the veggies, and I will give each female a stick that they can chew on to. Most of the time, the females will not chew on a stick when they are pregnant or they're going to be tending to the babies, but I leave it in there anyways, just in case they want to help keep their teeth grinded down. Now, usually after I move them, like I said, within a day or two, they will have babies. So like these ones, I just moved over on the 26th. And then as I suspected, the very next day, this one had babies. There's a bunch of little babies in there, kind of all over the place. I need to double check because she originally had 15. It looks like she might have lost a few. These ones were born the very next day. There's a bunch of babies in there. And then this one also had babies the very next day. Where are they, mama? Oh, they're kind of, there's a little pile there and a little pile there. Usually takes them a few days to kind of get acclimated and figure out where they want to have babies. And then all of the females I moved over, we still have, what is that, 3, 4, 5, 6 that have not had their babies yet. And those were a few that I showed you in the beginning that are still very plump. And then this were babies that were born the week before. And look at, they're already getting their eyes open. They're being dragged by mama. Hi, look at you. You guys got your eyes open. Wow. And then unfortunately, this albino, she only ended up having 2 babies. This is a first-time mama, so this wasn't totally unexpected, but her babies are nice and plump and healthy, and they both are girls. So we're probably going to end up keeping both of these. Let me see you. See how cute they are? Oh, they're so cute. Here you go, mama. What are you doing? Yeah, so utilizing the maternity rack to your advantage and to kind of keep the mother's stress level low and give them kind of a private little bungalow to themselves, if you will. It's fairly simple. Like I said, when I clean every Saturday, I like to pull the mothers out then, so I don't have issues with mothers birthing in the tubs. Not all the time do the mothers have issues birthing in the tubs or being with other females, but probably about 50% of the time. So half of the time we do have issues with other mamas stealing if they are pregnant, which is why we decided to do the maternity rack to begin with, was to ensure survival of more of the offspring. So after the mothers have babies, we typically leave the mother with their babies in here for 4 weeks until they are weaned. Sometimes when you have a mother that has a very large litter, so I mean like 13 to 15, like some of these other ones on the bottom have had, usually by week 3, if I have an open bin over in this rack, I will typically move them over just because as they grow, they start to get really cramped in here if they have that many babies. But other than that, they seem to do really, really well in this. I did have a question in the comments on one of the other videos. Freedom Breeder has now come out with a deeper tub. These tubs are only 3.5 inches deep, and now they make a 5-inch tub. And the question was, do I think they would do better in the 5-inch tub? And I would say no, only because when you put the mothers in here, the whole point of switching them to the maternity rack is not only to give them a smaller space where they feel more secure, but when she is birthing and she doesn't have a lot of energy, when she is laying down feeding her babies, I have noticed that the females will tend to stay towards the front where they can access water and food a little bit easier. And when they're laying down, they can actually eat while they're feeding their babies and laying down. So it gives them, they don't have to leave their babies and maybe have to go to something like this where they have to kind of get up on their hind legs or kind of sit up in order to get that food and water. It gives them easier access. And also when the babies are about 2 to 3 weeks old, the mother teaches them how to drink out of that nozzle and where they can get their food. So this is a good way for those smaller babies to get up to the food and water source without me having to put like a ramp or something like I would have to do in these for them to get that food. Typically, if I have a mother in these that has given birth, usually about that 2 to 3 week mark, what I will start doing is I will put handful, a clump of food, and I will put it down in the container where the babies can easily get to it. With this, I don't have to do that, and the substrate stays a lot cleaner. So still very, very happy with our maternity rack, and it is so nice that our production has kind of picked up. We still have quite a few rows that are empty, which is nice, but it's nice to see quite a few mamas in this rack giving birth now so we can up our production. It's absolutely awesome. So, and then just a little update, I still have to build our 3rd rack because we are kind of getting maxed out in just these 2 racks. I believe this bin and this bin are the only 2 that are empty in this entire rack. Everything else is full. And as you can see, even on these bins, I like to utilize the different color tape. I use blue with an M because these tubs have the males in them, so it's easy for me to tell which tubs, because sometimes if I hear fighting or if I hear them kind of whining, if they're coming from these tubs, it's usually just the male trying to mate with them. These 2 particular tubs have females that are het albino, so I like to put a het albino, so that way I know if I get albinos from one of our other 2 males, not necessarily Bubba, because Bubba doesn't carry the gene. And then a lot of times if females have been left in the tubs, I will put a P, so that lets me know that these females could possibly be pregnant and to keep checking on them. And then because this tub and this one, I ended up leaving the females in there and they didn't have large litters. I left the babies in there and then just put a date on them, just like I would over here. So makes it a little bit easier so I kind of know what's going on in my rack. And then for these tubs, I like to put the females back into the tub they came from. So for instance, this says 1.1. That means that they came out of rack number 1, tub number 1. So the whole objective was to only have 4 tubs with 3 females each and to rotate 1 male for each rack. Now, once I have my 3rd rack going, I'm going to go back to that system since I have 3 males now. But everything is a little messed up because we have 3 males, and then we've had some mothers not getting pregnant on the 1st or 2nd week. So like these ones, her other bin mate already had babies and is in the rack, and her babies are 2 weeks old. So sometimes things get a little complicated, and this is where good documentation and good tracking system really comes into play and kind of helps you keep everything organized. All right, so the last thing I wanted to show you is a little update on our mice. This is the bin. We have 1 male, and we have about 6 or 7 brand new females, and I think she's hiding. But I did see 1 or 2 females in here that is starting to look a bit plump, which means she's pregnant, which is awesome. They're hiding in their box. I believe it's that one, and there's one other one. You can see that little roundness, which means that they are going to have babies soon. Now, we put them in this bin all together so the male would get them pregnant, because more than likely when the female has babies, she's probably going to eat all of them. So once she does have babies and we notice that, then we'll probably acquire some more of these bins so we can move these females over to these smaller bins with a single male. And then we know we'll get babies and they won't be eating them. This is just the one with 2 in it, and I believe she is finally pregnant as well. She's resting a lot more, starting to get a little bit more plumper belly. And then this one, the mother's over there resting. This one is still pregnant. This one gave birth to all of those little babies. Look how many little mice babies. So, which is awesome that she had a ton of babies, since we have so many new ball python babies. So that way we'll have some mouse hopper options for those that don't want to eat. I've had good success so far with getting our ball pythons to eat frozen thawed pinkies, but this way we have another food option to feed them as well. All right, well, that is it for today's rat breeding and mice care video. Kind of a little bit of update, kind of giving you guys some insight on how we utilize our maternity rack and what works for us. Now, obviously, when I do these videos, not everything that works for me is going to work for everybody else. So kind of take the knowledge or the information that I put out there and kind of see what works for you, and drop it in the comments if you do something a little bit differently that may work. So that way other people can see, because maybe what works for me is not going to work for a lot of people, but maybe what you do will work for more people. So sharing that knowledge in the comments will definitely help somebody else out. So that is the whole purpose of these videos, is to kind of share our journeys and to hopefully inspire or help somebody else with their breeding operation and what they have going on. So thank you for watching. Thank you for everybody who subscribes and follows our channel. We are always grateful to see the views and the comments, and the encouragement on our videos is absolutely awesome. So again, thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one. Stay safe, stay sane, get out there and make your own footprints.